The tragic and heart-wrenching events surrounding the deaths of two minor children in China highlight the devastating consequences of selfishness, deceit, and moral bankruptcy. The extensive planning and callous disregard for innocent lives demonstrated a lack of empathy and humanity. Welcome to Chongqing, a vibrant metropolis that seamlessly blends modernity with rich cultural heritage. Situated in southwestern China, Chongqing is not just a city. It's a thriving hub of innovation, history, and culinary delight. Although over 30 million people live in this city, the city experiences a lower crime rate compared to other cities. The city experiences various crimes, but it benefits from a strong rule of law and a robust legal system. Zhang Bo was born on August 1994 in a humble family in rural Chongqing. He grew up with an older sister. His father lost his life to cancer when Zhang Bo was 20. He worked as a salesman at a small loan company where he met Chen Meilin, who was 3 years older than him. Zhang appeared to be a smart young guy who attempted to stand on his own 2 feet after losing his father at an early age. They started dating, and Chen quickly became infatuated with the kind and endearing young man. Just 3 months into their relationship, Chen became pregnant, and her parents were shocked. Chen's parents were not pleased. This makes sense because Zhang doesn't make enough money from his job to cover the expenses of raising a child. Soon, their first daughter, Su, was born. After getting married, Zhang Bo and Chen Meilin moved into an apartment in a high-rise apartment complex. It is said that Zhang Bo's mother helps cover the cost of the down payment of the apartment, while Zhang Bo pays for the monthly mortgage. This trend is common in China because the parents eventually live with their children, even after they start their own family. Chen Meilin did not get well with her mother-in-law. The mother-in-law is said to be very foul-mouthed and attack her with verbal abuse. Chen decided she has had enough and therefore went back to stay with her mother, taking her daughter Su along. Only 1 month after Su was born, Chen Meilin became pregnant again, and in January of 2018, Rui was born. Following Rui's birth, she moved back to be with Zhang Bo and his mother in his flat. But Chen and his 2 children are no longer of interest to Zhang Bo. He never showered their child with love and attention or changed their diapers. He has also been thinking about getting a divorce from her, but he needs to wait since in China, a father cannot get a divorce from his wife within a year of childbirth. Chen Meilin begged him to stay because she wanted a stable family and needed to provide a father figure for their kids. However, Zhang Bo made a firm choice since he was eager to be released from his obligations. He said that she was unable to live up to his ideal lifestyle of luxury and relaxation, which he had always aspired to. He started dating other women in an effort to seem wealthy. He never gave his wife or their 2 kids a single cent. Before long, February arrived, marking their son, Rui's first birthday. Chen and Bo decided to cut ties with each other. Their 2 children's custody arrangements were also agreed upon. Their 1-year-old Rui was to stay with Zhang Bo until he turned 6, while 2-year-old Su was to reside with Chen. This is a result of Chen's inability to care for both of the children due to her need to tend to her great-grandmother, who had thyroid cancer. In addition, Zhang Bo would be required to pay almost $120,000 in child support over a 10-year period. Alarm was raised on an apparently typical day in Chongqing, neighborhood of Zhang's apartment on November the 2nd, 2020. People began congregating at the base, outside Zhang Bo's apartment complex. They were all baffled by the sight of something horrifying. Two small bodies on the ground. Running out of the building, Zhang Bo was only wearing his pajamas and was barefoot. He appeared heartbroken and sobbing unconsolable, banging his head on the wall again and again. Su and Rui were the two little bodies. Rui was barely clinging for his dear life, while Xu appeared lifeless. Rui was immediately carried to hospital to try and save his life. It was evident that the two kids had fallen from Zhang's 15th floor flat. When the police showed up, Zhang was interrogated. He said that, as his kids played in a corner next to a window, he had slept off on his couch. He said that the yelling and loudness coming from downstairs were what woke him up. Chen was notified of the sad news by Bo's mother, and she immediately arrived at the hospital. A few days later, Rui, who was fighting for his life in the hospital, also succumbed to multiple organ failure from his wounds. The terrible situation was initially handled as an accident. Zhang's behavior leading up to the incident gave Chen's mother the first reason to assume that he was involved in any sort of foul play. He had been begging Chen to let her daughter play at his place all along, claiming that Rui was lonely and often wept. After considering it for a while, Chen gave Su to Zhang Bo. Police began examining the window in the room where he said the children had fallen. They saw that the window was too high for the two small children to climb up to, one of whom was a toddler. Furthermore, what are the chances that both children would fall to their demise simultaneously? Evidence could not back up his claim. Zhang Bo was arrested and detained for further investigation. This arrest would reveal a deep truth about his recent relationship with a young woman from the city. Zhang had been having an affair with Ye Chen, who he met online via a dating app. Ye is from an affluent family and likes luxury items and a leisurely lifestyle. They started dating when Chen was expecting their second kid, Rui. But the problem is that Zhang posted as single on his profile in the dating app. He kept this secret for several months, until the relationship was solidified before revealing that he already had children from his previous marriage. This news did not sit well with Yi. She saw his children as a hindrance and a weight to their future together. She reasoned that he would have to prioritize his two children over her and her future children. This is a problem she wouldn't want. As a result, she issued Zhang a lethal ultimatum: either get rid of both children and be with her, or retain them and lose her. Both sought alternative methods of killing the children. They had agreed to fake the deaths as accidents. Zhang told her that the children would not be an issue. She argued that she wouldn't marry a man with children, so it is either her or them. But he couldn't fathom spending his life without her. Later, police would unearth hundreds of text messages exchanged between the two. A stunning 17,000 erased WeChat text messages describing their horrendous plots to get rid of the children. WeChat is a popular Chinese messaging app similar to WhatsApp. During their encounters, there were times when Zhang Bo broke up their relationship because her requests were too much for him to fulfill. However, he returned after some time and apologized. Finally came the fateful day of November the 2nd, 2020, when he finally got access to little Sui Sui. Zhang didn't go to work that day, and his mother was out for some work. He had been on a 2-hour video call with Yi. Zhang and Yi were debating whether to complete the task according to the plan while on a video call. Zhang was hesitant to comply, but Yi persisted in pressuring him. She slit her wrists with a razor blade, making her bleed profusely, and then Zhang got scared. He dropped his phone, took the children by their little legs, flung them through the apartment window. He was then seen by neighbors, racing down the building's stairs without shoes and crying beside the children. During court proceedings, Zhang Bo openly expressed his remorse and said he regretted his actions, while Yi did not admit her guilt and denied any involvement in the incident. But the harrowing WeChat text messages countered her defense. Both were found guilty of conspiring to kill his daughter and younger son by staging an accidental fall from the 15th floor of his apartment building. The couple were sentenced to death in December 2021. Both immediately tendered their appeal letter for a lesser sentencing, but they were denied. On January of 2022, Zhang Bo sent 4 letters to Chen, expressing his remorse and seeking for her forgiveness. He even offered his house as compensation for the loss of her 2 children. Chen replied that if he feels remorse for his actions, he should accept the verdict calmly. On the 31st of January 2024, both Zhang Bo and Yi Chengchen were executed. News of their executions quickly rose to the top of a list of trending topics on Chinese social media site Weibo on Jan 31, receiving nearly 200 million views. Ultimately, the story of Zhang Bo, Chen Meilin, and their children serves as a sobering cautionary tale about the devastating consequences of greed, deception, and the pursuit of personal gain at the expense of others' lives. Thank you for watching. Do you agree with the death penalty as punishment for the couple?